Communication breakdown. It's always the same. Alright, hello lovelies. Well, happy full moon. However, in 12 days is Mercury Retrograde again, and in Virgo. So, I was thinking of mixing a lot of my empath videos and then my old Mercury Retrograde video, which you should go back to both after this video for more information, more in depth on each, because if I give you everything you need for this upcoming time, it will be like an hour-long video. Anyways, so today's video is on empaths and Mercury Retrograde and how an empath can kick Mercury Retrograde's ass, and yeah. So we're kind of going back to the beginning of my videos, so stay with me. So just a little reminder on what Mercury Retrograde is. So Mercury itself rules communication, clear thinking, truth, travel, all of that. So when it goes retrograde, everything kind of goes backwards. Things are harder to, communication's harder, hence the communication breakdown. Bizarre arguments happen, everything's on the fritz, computers break down, people break up, things don't work out the way you want it to, business plans could fail. If you have a flight booked, something could go wrong there. Just complete chaos, alright? And Mercury retrograde, some people will be like, it doesn't affect me. Nothing's ever happened to me. Well, it probably does, but for empaths, we really feel it. And let me tell you, as an empath, we feel it coming. We know a retrograde's coming before it even does. Because myself, as well as various other empaths that I know, have been saying, this is happening, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling blah-de-da-da. And most likely it's because we're almost there. We're almost at retrograde season. So we're starting to feel it. People are starting to act a little odd. Also, the planets are starting to go back that were in retrograde before, because we had a shit ton of planets go on retrograde for a while. Saturn's returning, all this stuff. It's just universally crazy right now. And then we have Mercury retrograde coming. So, back to what Mercury retrograde is, it also has to do with, Mercury rules like publishing, writing, arts, advertising, sales, public relations, anything that's artistic that also has to do with communication. So everything is about communication. This time it's in Virgo, and when it's in Virgo, it's more related to the workplace. Expect product delays, equipment breakdowns, crankiness amongst coworkers, especially those that are Virgos themselves, because they're detail-oriented. And double check all your work so you don't have to deal with communication issues with coworkers. Everything's just going to be chaotic in the workplace now. I hate to break it to you. But as an empath, how does Mercury retrograde affect you? Well, for one, like I said, empaths feel it coming. We know it's coming. We can feel all the energy movements, everything switching. Like I said, all these planets were retrograde that were not necessarily negatively affecting us, but everything's kind of moving back. And then today's the full moon, so we have that huge energy occurring. And then Mercury retrograde is coming. It's on its way. It's not even 2 weeks away anymore. It's like a little less than. And we're already starting to have some communication problems, and empaths ourselves, we're starting to feel drained. We're starting to feel down. We're starting to feel just like we've been taking on so much during this period since Mercury retrograde ended a few months ago. We were able to, start being the caretaker, start being the listeners again. And now it's like, boom, you feel it coming. So what happens to an empath after this period that we're going through right now? Because a lot of us are feeling depressed, a lot of us are feeling unwanted, a lot of us are feeling insecure, anxious, all of that, from myself to other people that I've talked to. And it's more than just Mercury retrograde. It's that, like I said, we've had this period without Mercury retrograde, as well as having like Saturn and Pluto and all of that in retrograde, which was putting us really into like this work mode, giving us this energy that we could get a lot accomplished and doing a lot. And now we're kind of plummeting, because empaths are basically what I call ambiverts, where we can be out and we listen to people, we help people, and then we just kind of go into introvert mode and hermit mode. So once we actually get into Mercury retrograde in a couple weeks, so this is why this video is important now, so that we have a preparation period. What actually happens is we will go get that hermit mode feeling. We feel more depressed than we probably are right now, if you are one of the empaths that are feeling like already. We feel like we can't cope with anything. We are emotionally drained. You gotta remember, like, there's back to the communication breakdown. If there's all these communication breakdowns, and we are people that are feeling other people's energies, and we kind of take them on at the same time, in a sense, what's going to happen to us? I mean, it's basic logic. We are going to shut down, or we are going to become an emotional wreck. Like right now, just being on the track of retrograde, I have become an emotional wreck. Completely. I'm like going nuts. I don't know if I know it's a mixture of things, as I was saying before, and overworking myself and all that, and being there for too many people and putting up with too many people's problems and crap, and still being there and still being the caretaker, which us empaths do. But now with retrograde coming, everybody is going to start being bad things are going to happen. And who are they going to come to? They're going to come to us. So we're already feeling like the energy movements. We're already feeling their anger and their chaos and the energy from all the fighting and arguing that's going to happen. And then we are also the ones that people are so used to coming to that we're just going to be drained as fuck. Mind my language. So, we get into hermit mode. Is hermit mode that bad? Honestly, I don't think so during this time. I really, really don't think it's that bad that we get into hermit mode. I think that empaths should be taking breaks from people here and there anyways. The other day I actually had to say it on Facebook, but it did not last because I am such a freaking empath and caretaker that I can't even listen to my own words. But I was like, Dr. Strong, because that's my last name, is on a 24-hour break from being blah 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 empath, needs a break and blah da da. It didn't work. But we do need to take those times. So we get this natural desire for hermit mode as an empath, and we need it. Listen to your inner self during this time. It's really hard to trust your intuition and your inner being during Mercury retrograde and the time period before, if you're an empath, because we feel it coming, but you need to. Because if you don't take either that hermit mode time now before it starts, or during a period during Mercury retrograde, even if it's for 24 hours, no social media, no talking to your bosses, no whatever it is you're doing, and just if stay with your kids if you have kids, because you can't escape that. But everyone else, just turn off your phones and just have one day where you re-prepare yourself and focus on your spiritual growth and your meditation, or just have like a fun nature day by yourself or with a loved one. But still be careful if you take this time during Mercury retrograde. But what you can do during Mercury retrograde, if you can't take that full 24-hour thing, is you can meditate every day. Take some time to meditate. This will keep us grounded and centered as empaths and highly sensitive emotional people while everybody else is out of whack, especially if things in the career area start to go a little whack. Also, take 20 minutes maybe, if you have it, to add on, to focus on things you're grateful for, because it's so hard to stay positive during Mercury retrograde for anyone, and it's hard for us to stay positive as empaths for the time period right before retrograde and during retrograde. It also, doing that focus helps the feel-good hormones that counterbalance the stress hormones that are going on. And as empaths, we really get addicted to like the stress and chaos hormones and chemicals in our body, and a lot of us may not admit to that because we don't want to admit that we might be addicted to chaos, but on some level we kind of are. Otherwise, we wouldn't constantly be taking these people back into our lives that are chaotic just to help them and save them. Make sure to get enough sleep. If you're like me, you don't get enough sleep as you're supposed to, but try and get like at least 7 hours of sleep. You're gonna be tired during the time period, a little more fatigued right before Mercury retrograde and during Mercury retrograde if you're an empath. I know I'm feeling extremely fatigued, and a couple of empaths that I've been talking to also feel very fatigued. So make sure to get enough sleep. Manage your media exposure, limit the news, limit social media. And if you are somebody like myself that needs social media in your life for whatever it is that you're doing as work, like for my witch business and for other things I do, try and balance the amount of social media you're using with some funny, cute stuff, or other things that you're interested in, or meditating or whatever in nature. Otherwise, it's too much. Do not sit on Facebook all day during the whole time of Mercury retrograde and right up to Mercury retrograde. If you have to use it for like work and things like that, or for networking, for if you're into art or for whatever you may need, use it specifically for those time periods or to respond to people. But hopefully people understand that we may not be responding to them the same day they message us, because right now this is a time we really need that hermit space. And like I said, if you can't go into full hermit mode, make some boundaries, and that's really hard for us to do as empaths, but we got to do it. Another thing is stay as local as possible. Because I hate to admit it, but as empaths, we're kind of bad with stress management, even though we may not like to admit it. But when everybody else around us and the energies of the universe are going to be out of whack, and this is in Virgo, so it's also about like occupations, and then you have retrograde, which is about communication and travel. The stress of planning and going and making sure everything works out to plan is really difficult, and since a lot of trips and travels do not tend to work out the way that we hope them to during this time period, it would be less stress on us as empaths to be going out. It's going to be too much overwhelming, and you just try and stay as local as possible. Declutter your surroundings, make things a little more feng shui, reorganize things, just let energy flow, because you're going to be home a little more, because you're going to be in hermit mode a little bit if you're listening to my advice. We may hate the fact that we get into hermit mode and feel depressed about it, but we need it right now. Either before and or during Mercury retrograde. No drama. If there is drama going on in your life or with your friends, stay away. That is part of the reason we are feeling so down, is because we take on everyone's shit. We listen to everybody's problems. We also have our own problems that we have to deal with. And taking on everyone else's drama and crap right now is just gonna make us feel worse. We're gonna be overwhelmed, escalate, and during Mercury retrograde, we might just break and become emotional wrecks or assholes. And our gossipy friends are just gonna dump stuff on us over and over and over. We gotta cut it out. And sometimes we as empaths, if we have friends who are also empaths, we feel like we can go back and forth gossiping this stuff and to unload it onto each other, because we can never really unload our own crap because we're dealing with everyone else's. We probably should try and curtail those conversations, or try and keep them at a minimum, or talk only about positives right now. Get in touch with yourself. Start to realize, when do you start to feel like you're becoming too empathetic? When are you starting to feel too overwhelmed? When are you getting super tired? All of these things. Start really, really listening to yourself. If you're feeling fatigued, then go take a nap or go lay down and chill. Don't overwork yourself during the time period before Mercury retrograde or after. As empaths, we try and take on the world, and we can't. And part of it has to do with that we're trying to prove ourselves. We're people pleasers. We really are. And we can't. And that goes into the next one that says, learn to say no. Many empathetic people fear the negative response if we say no, or feel like all of a sudden we're going to be replaced in the workplace or as friends, or that we're no longer going to be needed or whatever. We need to learn to say no, because we are worthy of self-care. We are worthy of having that time for ourselves. You think that all the people that we're helping don't take time to take care of themselves? Trust me, they do. Go outside. Again, nature, best connector. Even if it's like 5 to 10 minutes of just going outside and connecting, or walking, or whatever, smelling some flowers, going to a flower shop, getting out of the house, getting out of the workplace, get outside, connect. And I don't mean like when I used to live in Milwaukee, going out into the city, in like downtown where there's a bunch of buildings. No, you need to go to like down by the river, or like into some forest. Okay. Lighten up a little bit. We take things so seriously, and we take everything onto us as empaths. We need to find the joy in life again. Start going in the mirror during this period, and I mean this period, the time prior to Mercury retrograde, so that we're prepared, as well as during Mercury retrograde, saying 5 good things about ourselves, whether physical or internal. I would suggest mixing it up, where you have like maybe 2 or 3 of each. Practice laughter. Start finding the things that are ridiculous in life. Stop overworking yourself. Stop managing everything. The only thing we should be managing is our sensitivity and our emotions right now. Okay? Because it's just so much. I mean, this isn't just Mercury retrograde this time. Other planets have been retrograde and are returning, and with Saturn's return, good things happen. But then we're having Mercury retrograde come, and again, we're empaths, so we feel all this switch. Some other things that can help is burning sage every day, using sage or products like soaps, bath bombs, incense, frankincense, same thing, oils, incense, whatever. Good stones to have are onyx, black tourmaline. The reason I say onyx, besides it being my favorite stone, is because not only does it help block from negativity, it also helps and then also going back to what I talked about in my empath video and other videos, bubbling yourself, putting that around you. And I would also suggest, since today I'm making this video on the full moon, going out and doing something for the full moon that is going to be protection spell or protection related. So I will, below the video, put my original first Mercury retrograde video, which is about Mercury retrograde in Taurus, but there are a lot of good things that will help you in this one as well. And the strategies of kicking Mercury retrograde's ass from that video are also going to help you here. I'm also going to post the links to my past empath videos, because there's some great tips in those as well. And also putting the Are You an Empath video might help you to understand, are you an empath? Is that why you're feeling a little off right now, right before Mercury retrograde? And then I will put the chakra balancing meditation video below to help you out, as well as a list of gods and goddesses that are related to protection. It's not going to be all of them, but it's from a website that I trust. And then my normal links that I always put below for all of my things. So yeah, that's it. I hope you all have a great full moon, and good luck during Mercury retrograde, as well as being an empath. If you have any ideas for future videos, that's where I get my ideas for my videos. Please let me know. I know a lot of people want more stuff on like psychic vampires and empaths related stuff, so I may keep going in that direction. Unless you have other ideas, please comment them below, message on here, or message me on Facebook. And I love you all. Like, subscribe, and share.